Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over technical analysis for uranium. This is just for the day. I do this on a daily basis because a lot of you guys like watching this on a daily basis. So that's what I'm doing. If you guys have any other suggestions, please put it in the comment section if you want it to be less frequent or the same frequency that we have right now, which is a daily update. I'm going to show you a little bit of technical analysis training in the beginning, and then we'll get into the charts, and I'll show you what I'm seeing in the uranium charts. So here is uranium technical analysis. So this is called an ascending wedge. And what happens is you get this nice big move. You see all the big candlesticks all in here, small little down days, big candlesticks, and then the sellers step in at some price that's real high. You have a wick at the top, which is a reversal pattern to go down. Wick at the top, reversal pattern to go down. Sellers push it down. It contracts. Opening and closing prices are very close. You get a wick at the bottom. It goes on higher, big candlesticks. And we move on up and up and up and up as this thing contracts into a wedge, ascending wedge pattern. And usually what this means is it's going to break to the downside. And what those breaks kind of look like, they kind of look like this. You're coming in a downtrend. It comes back up in this wedge, it breaks down, retests, and then goes lower. This one we're going in an uptrend or an up move, and we're coming up and we're wedging it up. We break out to the downside, we back test or retest, and then go down. And these are just all different types of patterns that break to the downside for a wedge. And you can invert this to a descend. These are all ascending wedges, which means the wedge is pointing upward. Descending wedges means that it's going to go the opposite direction, upward. More or less, any sort of pennant or wedge formation, if it's slanted upward, means that the buyers are starting to equal the sellers, and eventually the sellers are going to outweigh the buyers and push it lower. That's really what it means. And then one other thing I wanted to talk about is longer wicks indicate increased change in market sentiment. I'm going to describe it the way I view it. Really, when you have a long tail, it's a reversal. That you've got an opening price here and a closing price, and somewhere throughout the day, it was coming on down, and the buyers reversed this really hard and brought it all the way back up. It just means that the momentum is going upward. This one's the opposite. The stock opened, let's say it opened here, and it went all the way up throughout the day, and then a whole bunch of sellers stepped in and reversed it all the way down. It's still an up day, but the wick signifies or signals that the sellers push this thing down and the momentum is to the downside. So when we look at this and we tie it all together, we have an ascending wedge that was coming up. We're starting to see bigger sell-off candlesticks like this guy that I'm pointing at and the volume. So we came up in this ascending wedge, big old hammer hit us on our head to knock us lower, and the momentum carried us lower as we came out. Then we got a bullish engulfing signal signaling that it's a bottom, short-term bottom, and we have another bullish engulfing signal here, which means that we're going to start an uptrend. It doesn't mean that tomorrow is going to necessarily be up. It very well could be, but we could go sideways a little bit before moving on higher. We could have a couple of down days, but the down days should be small, and the opening and closing prices should be close together. That means that everything's still intact. If you start seeing a super large down day like this guy here, it means sentiment could be changing and we could see a reversal lower. But right now, sentiment is higher with an upward bias. CCJ, same thing. We had an ascending wedge here. It coiled on up and we broke to the downside on a big volume, big down day, and the momentum had to be worked off. We worked the momentum off. We had nice big kind of two large up days, small down days. This sentiment was changing, and it changed on June 20th, 19th, 20th, and here. Came on up, came back, big up days, small down days, buyers are in control. Again, upward bias here. Next gen, same thing, squeezed up, came on back, got hit on our head, big volume, pulled on back. Big up days, small down days, the buyers are now in control. We could see a little small down day tomorrow or something, and then I think we'll continue higher. Whenever you have these, a wick at the top, and then you have this small little opening and closing price with it coming back down, the momentum's down, so I think you'll probably see a small down day tomorrow or two down days in a row, and then we move on higher is my guess. fission, and what I meant by this could go lower, we are coming up into this we're kind of squeezing on up. It'd be nice to break to the upside, but most of the time they do break to the downside. And this is a very small pattern, so it'd be very short-term, short-lived, maybe just a pop lower here over the next day or two. Base load is basing out. Base load is basing. And what you see here is we're just kind of moving sideways right now in this channel. And we've got a wick at the bottom, which means there's some buyers down here coming on up. We got another wick at the bottom. Buyers are down here. If you see it down here, you could maybe try to pick it off. We've got a nice little black candlestick. Could go maybe perhaps a little bit lower today. I mean tomorrow, or not. I mean, it's pretty low in its channel. But usually when you see black candlesticks, the next day is like a small down day or something like that, because the momentum's heading lower. And black candlesticks just means that it opened up higher, it closed lower throughout the day, but it was still an up day. That's what a black candlestick means. This guy, same as the other ones, we're still kind of moving sideways. I bet you we'll see a little small down day tomorrow or something like that. Again, I think we're going to go down a little bit. We might just kind of roll over a little bit and then move higher. But here's your support line. If it gets to, around 240 or just below, that's where I'd be buying again. I'll buy more shares if it gets down there. Denison Mines, we're moving on sideways. We do have some nice, good, strong upward movement. This is a small little down day. Buyers are still in control, upward bias over the short term. It's probably going to go higher. Bannerman's looking okay. The support line's holding. Doesn't look too bad. UEXCF, nice pop off of this hammer pattern. Two big up days, small little pullback, hammer pattern, popped higher. So that looks pretty good. Deep yellow, we still have the support line here. Looks like we're running into a little bit of sellers here in this tight area. 50 cents, 60 cents is a beast because it traded here so much back in history. A lot of buyers and sellers. We got to get through this area and get out of here if we want to go higher. And then we got Encore Energy, a nice little kind of down day today. Wick at the top. This one is pretty volatile. Sometimes it doesn't follow the patterns as well because it's thinly traded compared to some other, bigger companies. But it looks good. We've got a nice big move up. We might see a small down day or two before moving higher. But it looks pretty good. Overall, uranium looks good. It looks like we're heading on up, that the buyers are in control. Now we just have to be patient and let the buyers drift it higher. Doesn't mean every day is going to be higher. You're still going to have the up and down movements. But what we want to see, big candlesticks up, small candlesticks down. I do think some of them might pull back a little bit before heading higher. So that's my overall, I guess, market update for uranium. Overall, it's one of my favorite sectors. I'm heavily invested in it. The valuations are incredibly good. And I'm playing this for a long term. I'm not trading in and out. I'm not doing anything with these charts. I'm just adding in when the charts come back, and I just sprinkle money in. It's not a lot of money that I'm sprinkling in. I put big core positions in the beginning, and then I continue to add to them over time. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.